Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. I just received my brother-in-law's watch back. I had it sent off to have a new battery put into it and have the gaskets tested as well as the water resistance. They also snugged up the clasp a little bit. What watch is this? His Vintage Tag Heuer watch. So tonight we're going to be doing a full review of it. Let us begin. And here is an up-close shot of the Tag Heuer. This is the WL111E, the Cerium Quartz. So because this watch has 200 meters of water resistance, I didn't want to change the battery myself because I'd have no means of water resistance testing it currently. So I had this shipped off to TikTok Watch Repair. And they replaced the battery, replaced the gaskets, did water resistance testing, and they also snugged up the clasp. So this watch is a nice subdued size. I measured it at 36 millimeters with my calipers. However, when you look at listings, it is described as 37 millimeters. I've also seen it listed as 39 millimeters, but I think that was including the crown. I took my measurement at an angle like this to get just the case size itself. As you can see, it has an integrated bracelet and a nice subtle clasp. It's not a butterfly clasp, as you can see here, but from this side of the bracelet, it kind of resembles one in a way. So there's a fold over here, we can pop that open, and then pop that. We see it has a nice milled clasp here. There's some branding there. And the inside of this clasp is brushed, just like the rest of the watch. We can fold that closed, and then secure it. I really like how this bracelet is curved down toward the wrist. It gives this watch a really sleek look. It kind of has some 1990s-esque details around the bezel and whatnot, but they are somewhat subdued. There are crown guards here, and interestingly, it has drilled lugs even though you're probably never going to take this bracelet off. But you never know because there are variants of this that ship on leather straps. I believe they were leather, but there are non-bracelet variants. So it is possible that you could pick up a Tag Heuer strap that would fit this watch and put it on there. Yeah, everything about this watch curves down toward your wrist, which is a pretty cool look. Every time my brother-in-law has worn this over to my house, that is the one thing that catches my eye. Is just how sleek it looks on the wrist. It looks really good on him. So this is a fixed bezel. No, it's not. So one thing that's crazy about this watch is this looks like a fixed bezel, but it actually isn't. That is pretty wild. I had no idea, actually until just now, that this is a functioning bezel. I was about to comment on how weird fixed bezels are, then I realized that it actually turns. The bezel action is great. There is zero backplay whatsoever. It's kind of tough to get a grip on it though, so these 1990s details are actually pretty functional. These are some loud clicks, but it does not wiggle at all. And it has a pip on the top. Let's get some loom shots. Alright, so I've got my trusty flashlight here. We'll charge this thing up. So yeah, the pip on the top there glows. Same with the markers and hands. There's not a ton of lume there, so I'm not sure how long it'll last. But this isn't too terrible given its age. It does seem to be fading kind of quickly though. Yeah. Older lume. But yeah, this entire watch is brushed. And look at that dial. That dial is great. I love how small the hour markers are there. Those dot indices. The 12 and 6 are Arabic numerals. And the silver tone on that dial is so great. And it looks brand new. So crazy. The Rehat has a minutes track in it, which is also a pretty cool touch. There you can see it a bit. The date window is somewhat subtle. It has a white background, so it doesn't quite match the silver of the dial. And as you can see, this is a quartz piece, so you won't be using the crown a ton, but let's see what it's like when you do have to use it. Wow, I cannot get this crown unscrewed. Okay, so I had to go use a rubber grip to get this thing loosened. So this is a screwed down crown, obviously. We'll unscrew it. Pop this out. Nice smooth action here. Alright, let's watch that date flip over. Alright, so just a little bit after midnight, and it flips over. You can see that this movement hacks. We'll pop this in. There goes the seconds hand. Let's try setting the date. And it clicks over nicely. Push this back in again and screw it in. The crown guards kind of get in the way a little bit, but you're not going to be using this a whole lot being quartz, so that's fine. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 36 millimeters, at least as I measured it. The case height is 11 millimeters. The lug to lug is 44 millimeters. Being integrated, the lugs are 9 millimeters. But the bracelet width is 20 millimeters. The crystal is sapphire. I just tested that tonight just to be sure. Of course, that was before I looked up listings on it, where it was stated as sapphire. And the water resistance is 200 meters. Now, TikTok Watch Repair was able to test it up to 50 meters, but being kind of vintage, I don't know if I would trust the 200 meters anyway. So, it's decently water resistant for a vintage watch. Alright, so let's get some wrist shots. Alright, so I'm wearing my vintage Caravelle watch. I love this thing. I still have to do a full review of it. That should be coming soon. Such a great watch. And I bought this for $30. Alright, let me take this off and we'll see what the Tag Heuer looks like when it's on your wrist. And here it is on my 55 millimeter wide wrist, 7-inch diameter. Unfortunately, this watch is sized very large compared to my wrist, but you can kind of see what it would look like anyway. It's a great looking watch, actually. Very cool. You can see what I mean by how sleek it looks on the wrist. Everything just curves down. Yeah. And I love the subdued size and that dial. That dial is so great. Very cool. So there you have it, my brother-in-law's great looking Tag Heuer watch. He got this piece brand new quite a while ago. However, you can still get them online. I saw one listed for almost $2,000. However, on Chrono24, I was seeing them for $800. I also saw an auction listing, and at least at the time that I was looking at it, it was at $200. So if you are interested in one of these, you can pick them up for around $800. Thanks for watching.